wanna say I'm grateful. That's right. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and for that I wanna say I'm grateful. That's right.
Welcome to Unplugged Season 3, Episode 1. It is I, Dave the MC, because this is Unplugged with Dave the MC. What else would you be watching? What else would you be watching? You're on my channel, thank you. First of all, please subscribe, check everything out. But first, also subscribe to this guy, because who I am talking to is someone who has been doing music since...
Damn. I've been releasing tapes since 2016.
Since 2016.
Yeah.
But it's someone who I consider a very talented rapper, artist. The tapes are there, so you can go check them out. This is not to be confused with another Ace, because there are two Aces in the music game. There's Ace the Don, and then there is the one and only Aces. Now, first of all, thank you for doing this, because I know this, we kind of like planned it before, and then it didn't work out.
A month of planning.
It's been a month of planning. By the way, when I do these things, I normally just try to do it a month in advance or a couple of weeks in advance, but here we are. So like you said, you started in 2016.
Yeah.
But was that the beginning of your career as far as releasing tapes, or as far as doing music?
As far as releasing tapes, that's when I started releasing tapes. But when I started like writing and getting into the art form, it was about like 2005 from my room. Because my bro came with the curtain calls Eminem's greatest hits on tape. And he played me the tape. And I think it was Mockingbird that was on that tape.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and I was like, I want to be able to do that. You know, the storytelling and just being able to articulate yourself so well. I was like, I got so infatuated with it. Yeah. And I said, I want to start writing. So I wrote my first rap in 2005, and it was garbage.
We'll start somewhere.
We'll start somewhere. But after that, it kind of stopped for a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I went to high school, actually. First year of school.
Yeah.
I met this guy, the person that is hosting us right now, JR. Shout out to JR. I met JR, and he was like, "Yo, you should actually just continue like writing and doing all this stuff." So I was like, "Alright, cool. Let me try." Got an MP3 player.
Yeah.
You know, during prep, earphones going all the way.
Yep.
And I just started writing rhymes, and I did that for 2 years straight. The back of my physics book never had notes. I won't even lie to you. It was just raps on raps on raps. And so I carried on from there, and I knew I wanted to release music when I was done with school.
Yeah.
So I finished in 2013, and it took me like a year, 2015, when I actually got into a studio.
Yeah.
And I was helped out by a friend of mine called Melvin. So he recorded my first track. That track was called Bang. Dropped that track, I think sometime in September of 2015. And from then on, I started releasing tapes. So January 2016, I dropped my first tape. It was titled Opportunity. Featured, I think, maybe 4 artists on there. I did my second tape that same year in April, titled The Ones That Never Made It. So sort of like the tracks that didn't make the first tape were on that tape.
Go on.
So I put that The Ones That Never Made It came out in April.
Yeah.
But I was never satisfied with those tapes. You know,
why is that?
I felt like they were lacking. They just didn't feel any good to me. You know, they were my first 2 projects. You know, and to do that in that time frame from January to April, there was gonna be some improvement, but not a major one.
Yeah.
You know? So I said to myself, I really wanna get a producer that will help me get there.
Yeah.
So at around June, I went to Cage's Garage, and that's when I met Cahill. Cahill Beats. I met Cahill in 2016, and the first day I met Cahill, it was the weirdest situation you can ever imagine. I went to Cage's Garage, and they were having this every Friday. They'd have these chill outs.
Yeah, I remember those ones.
So I got there Friday. Cahill's like, yo, just chill here for a while, just sort of relax and, enjoy everything. I was like, alright, cool. So I sat down, I came with a friend of mine called Kiki. We're chilling there, and I don't know what was going on, but they were sort of dressed like in some KKK style uniform, but like with tribal print. And they had candles in a bottle, and they were just going around in circles, and I was like, hey, what is this?
You brought me to a cult.
He brought me to a cult. Bro, it was so weird.
Yeah.
But I chilled there for about an hour, and then he switched to some beats.
Yeah.
And we just started freestyling from there. And he was like, I started freestyling for him, and he was like, you know what? I like you, but I feel like you can do more. So please come to the studio next week. He gave me his number, gave me his email.
Yeah.
And we linked up that week at the studio.
Yeah.
And first day we met, second time we met, we dropped a song called Liquid, and it's still on SoundCloud. So we dropped that track, and I was like, why don't we just actually try and make a tape, He was like, cool, no worries. And to this day, I am thankful to Cahill so much, because he has never charged me for a tape. In terms of production and doing anything, he's never charged me for a tape. The only tape I paid for was Everything Changes. That was the one I paid for, because he really helped me so much.
Yeah.
Going back to it, so he helped me out with like writing and sort of being better as an artist, and with the sound that I was going for. So September 2018, we recorded that tape in one day.
Oh.
Mixed and mastered it the same day, and then dropped it the same day. And he sent me these beats like in like a week.
That's something to like commend, because I don't know too many people who can release something that they recorded the same day or the same week. Like, it's really hard.
I think we spent like
it's really hard.
6 hours in the studio just recording itself. And then we were mixing and mastering at Gator's Garage. So we went back there and we stayed there from around, I think, 7 to midnight, just mixing and mastering the tape, and then we dropped it that time.
Well, you can stay out past 8 p.m. You can stay out past 8 p.m. Now,
sort of different,
yeah. But anyway.
So yeah, we worked on that, and I saw so much improvement from where I started from, and I said I really want to continue working with you, And we talked about doing another tape. The idea behind Uncharted Oceans, actually, because that was the tape that came December that year. I was supposed to do it with Baraka Kisia. And Uncharted Oceans was the name they had given the tape.
Yeah.
So
very dope singer.
Very, very, very good singer. So we agreed to work on Uncharted Oceans.
Yeah.
But I think she was also working on her tape at the same time. So I just decided, I'm just going to do this myself.
Yeah.
So that was when I reached out to a producer called Leaky. And he's the one who made the track Like Me. So I sent him an email and everything, and he was really willing to send me his beats. And he told me, I'm not going to charge you for anything, just use the beats, just give me credit. And I said, cool. So I started reaching out to so many different producers at that time to try and get a more industrial sound and fuller sound. And they were so welcoming in terms of letting me use their beats and everything. So send me their tracks. We recorded that tape as well, dropped it the same day. And then from then on, this is where shit gets interesting.
Go on.
From then on, 2017 now, because that year I didn't release any music, right? We decided we were going to leave where we were and start our own studio, Black Century Records.
But I think we met before you left Creatives.
I think we did.
Yeah, because I remember I had heard about you, and then I had heard about the music and everything. Yeah. So when I met you, I was like, okay, I can attach a face to whoever is rapping.
Yeah.
Back when I was doing the first iteration of a podcast that ended up a story for another day, but it ended up flopping. But then I still have another podcast, so it's cool. So then you left, you created Black Century.
Yeah.
With who?
We were 4 of us. So Cahill, Fess, and Baron, and myself. We were 4 of us. So we really wanted to find a space. So all three of them were in Uganda at that time. And so it was my job to like look for the studio space. So when I found the space sometime in October that year, we needed to get the equipment across the border because it was in Uganda. The Baron had come with the equipment. Yeah. So I wasn't really going to do much apart from find the house, pay for the rent for the house, the deposit and everything, fund whatever was needed else in the studio. Yeah. And Baron was going to come with the equipment. Cahill was going to produce. First was one of our artists who were like, we'll just work together, you know. So that happened 2017. We set up that studio. The first month, we got paid our first month at the end of the month, and it was such a struggle trying to get clients to come in because we were still new. But we cleared our rent first month, second month, and then shit just started going downhill from there. I'm not gonna mention what happened because there's a lot of backstabbing and shit. This is complications, you know. And so we closed down the studio. And at that time, I was working on a tape called October that I haven't released. So that was supposed to come out in 2017. But I said, you know what, let me just hold back on it. Let me work on something else. Because we don't have a studio anymore. We still have the equipment.
Yeah, but you just don't have
but we don't have a space to like record and do it. So when I was working on Just Before 7, we started looking for another space to record. And we recorded Just Before 7 in a gym. We literally went to Bernard's place. Bernard, also a really good artist. Went to his place, went to the gym, sort of set up like cushions to like help with the sound. And recorded from there. So Just Before 7, that was done in the gym. And we did that with Valerie, Terry-Ann, Preezy, and Cahill himself. Cahill actually featured on one of the tracks. And from there, that's when we got to... There's a part I'm missing. There's a part I'm missing. But I get to. I have goldfish memories sometimes.
After Black Century went down.
Yeah, after Black Century went down. So Baron went back with the equipment to Uganda. And
so basically, did you find yourself now from square one again?
Like square one again, like we had to start again because after we couldn't find another space to have a studio, it took like about 2 months. That's when I was recording the tape. So after that, Baron just left. Just packed up everything and went to Uganda. And some of the stuff that we had bought was there, so we were like, bro, like we have no equipment. No. There's nothing we can do. And I think at that time, that's when I was like, I think the next tape I'll do is just be my last, bro. Like I'm tired. I'm tired of all these setbacks and everything. Okay, I was like, alright, cool. But I know you very well. You'll say that, then you just want to drop another tape. I was like, alright, cool, we'll see. So with lucidity. That's how we came up with lucidity. How did I forget about lucidity? I am so sorry.
I was gonna ask about it. I was gonna ask about it. So you mentioned setbacks. Was that the only setback other than, okay, you lose the studio, you lose the equipment? Was that the only setback you experienced being an artist?
No, that's not the only experience. I couldn't even get interviews if I wanted to talk about my tape or whatever, because they're giving everyone these slots, everyone these chances, and I try and do the same thing, even shows. No, we don't want you on there. Some radio stations would hit me up and they're like, no, your music is not for the station.
What do they mean by your music is not?
Yeah, your music is not for the station, and I was like, okay, all right. I've gone to labels. Labels have told me. I remember this one guy just told me, your music is too American trap and R&B and is not for the Kenyan market.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that one really stung because I was like, if they're not gonna listen, if I'm not gonna get a label's attention, then why am I?
Is it because of the whole thing of rapping in Swa and then?
Yes. Actually, one label told me yeah, we like your style. You could be the next Otile Brown, and I'm like, what? I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to sound like Otile Brown.
But anyway.
There was so many things that I was told. And at the time, I was going through such a hard time mentally, and I was drinking a lot. I was just reckless, honestly. I've been arrested more times than I can count.
Yeah.
So I decided like I really wanted to try and change and improve myself.
Yeah.
And that's when I came up with lucidity. And
so was like lucidity your like outlet in terms of
it was for me it was the most honest I had been on a tape. And I was really happy about that.
In fact, that's what I was listening to on the way here, because I kind of wanted to, because I enjoyed Lucidity and Just Before 7.
Yeah.
Those two tapes. Although I enjoy your music in general, but those two, it felt personal.
It was.
It felt personal. So talk to me about Lucidity, like
Lucidity.
the process of it.
Lucidity came about when I started writing Lucidity in 2017. Around April, that's when I started writing Lucidity. The first song I wrote was Bounce. And so we dropped Bounce in 2017.
Yeah.
As much as the video came out last year. But we wrote that in 2017.
Yeah.
And Cahill was going through some personal stuff, so he had to go back to Uganda. And so the tape just came to like a halt. And by the time he came back, I had talked to so many producers, and I had gotten so many beats. I think I had like over 30 beats.
Dang.
And the process was now cutting them down to a 10-track tape. You know, because I wanted a good length of a project, but not something that's too long that people get bored with it. Because right now, if you give someone anything over 30 minutes, they're like, I don't know.
No, it's true. That's just the attention span we're in. We have to accept it.
You know, and I was going through my...
Not really accept it, but like, yes, the attention span is short for projects now. Like, if you go more than 30 minutes, you lose someone's attention by like if it's like a 10-track, by the 8th track, someone will just be like,
nah. Sometimes like
this is too long.
The 6th track, they're like,
so each track has to be like maybe 2 minutes.
2 minutes, some 3, maybe a little skit somewhere inside there. So that's what I did with the tape. Track number 1 was intro. I got that beat off Flaky. So I finished up with that track. That was the first one I did off the tape. And I was, with the mood that I had set with that track, I really wanted to try and capture what I was going through with that tape, with my drinking and whatever shit I was going through. So track number 2 on that tape was intro. Was it The Good Life?
The Good Life, yes. It was
I feel like it's not.
you can just check, but I think it must have been Good Life.
I know the problem is I have so many tapes.
No, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
That was Not For Me. She Say, The Good Life, Reflection, Ashley, Last Time, That's That Bounce, and lastly, Anybody. So the personal ones for me, like one was Ashley. So I sort of painted the picture of, because it had happened to me, and the girl's name was Ashley, you know.
I was gonna ask whether that was like,
that was
real life.
That was actually her name. Because we were talking for some time, and she told me she was going through her personal shit. I feel like everyone goes through a lot of personal shit. But she was going through her shit, and I told her, you know, anytime you want to talk, just hit me up. I can talk to you. She's like, cool. So I called her one day. I was like, are you good? She's like, no, I'm not okay. This and this is going on. Can we meet? I'm like, alright, cool. Where do you want to meet? Send her the location. I'm like, I'll be there in like 40 minutes. You'll find me there. So I get there. I chill for 40 minutes. Give her a call. Phone's off. I'm like, alright, cool. Chill for a little bit. An hour. Call. Phone's off. I was like, I ain't staying here for this long. And I left. And then I hit her up the next day. And she was like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, how do you forget? Dave, how do you forget in like the span of an hour? How do you forget?
You're not the problem.
I'm not the problem.
You're not the problem.
I'm not the problem.
Kings, you're not the problem. You're not the problem.
And reflection was more of just talking about what I was going through personally. And it was really freeing to write that track. And especially the second verse when I said, today's my birthday, but I'm not feeling too special.